Here. Yeah, let's get straight to it. I'm right back at you like I never left, and I'm gonna go this hard to my last breath. It's Lil Kenny Russell, Canoom, Consul, Moon. You already know what you're gonna give me. Step in this room, you now doing Canoom. Yeah, I'm here. Well, I'm here, I'm gonna make the information direct and clear because a lot of y'all can't hear. Yeah. Now, welcome back to Make My Ancestors Great Again. This is another episode of My Thoughts. This is My Thoughts 285, and as the title states, Who Am I, Part 2. This is the continuation of what I started Monday. I didn't appear yesterday. I got busy in my day-to-day life, so I didn't have time to record. So this is part 2 of Who Am I? Episode 1, I explained who I was, where I was from, and things like that. Now I'm going to go into, am I a Muslim? Am I a Christian? Am I Hebrew? And all these type of things. So let's listen to the answers and we'll get straight into this episode. This is part 2 on Who Am I?
One thing you have to get through your mind and keep it. Nothing that ever came from the European mind was meant to do anything but facilitate European domination of the world. And I said there's no exception.
That's the ancestors. And a lot of people are puzzled by that. And they buy into that and feed into that a little bit too much. And I spoke about that on episode 1. You can go back and watch it. That's My Thoughts 284. Who am I? Today, I'm going to speak about who I'm not. And that will further let you know who I am. I'm not a Muslim. Okay. That's number 1. I don't practice Islam. My belief on Islam is the same as every other major Western religion. It's man-made and man-created. Okay. What I mean by that is in all these theologies and this allegorical understanding, this allegory, this myth, these mythological things that we're speaking about in the belief system, they're man-made. Okay. So that goes with God and everything else, the prophets, the Muhammad's, the apostles, everything. This is man-made. You hear me? Equating to me basically saying man made God, not the other way around. I don't believe it was a big oversized white man up in the sky named God handcrafting man the way they taught us. I don't believe that. Okay. And if I'm going to go for anything like that in terms of mythology or allegory, I'll stick with what my ancestors had first. That's where the name Khnum derives from. Khnum, Khonsu, Moon. That's 3 deities in my name. That's from some of the, these are the oldest allegories and mythologies known to man. That's from the ancient Egyptian civilization, the Nile Valley civilization, rather. Khnum handcrafted man from a potter's wheel, and he made him out of clay. So I would take that before I would take any of this man-made nonsense. And that was all allegory and myth. Okay. So you had to be physically gifted, or should I say mentally gifted enough to understand they were expressing allegory mythology. That's what they were expressing in terms of human being ways that they, just to have a belief system. So you can have an upright person to believe in, like a ISIS. Nobody believes that ISIS is real if you have the mind and understand what's going on down there. Nobody would believe that Osiris was cut up in all these pieces and put back together. Yes, Osiris, and then he still was able to have Horus with Isis. If your mind understands allegory and mythology, you'll be mentally gifted enough to understand what those symbolic meanings and interpretations stand for. But if you're not, you'll take anything that pastor, the imam and all that gives to you. Okay. So no, I'm not a Muslim. I'm going to play a video of mine. You can find this on my YouTube page about Islam. This is my stance and this is my belief on Islam. Let's look at it. Okay. That according to Islamic tradition, that this Prophet Muhammad had a 6-year-old wife.
What am I talking about? This is how the story goes now.
And I'm speaking about Aisha. Anybody can go look this stuff up. That's why I said according to Islamic tradition. It don't matter if you believe that part of Islam tradition. That's a part of Islamic tradition. Okay. And I don't care if it came from the Ishnat, the Bukhari, and all that type of stuff. You hear me? The Caliphs and all that old stuff. That's your business. That's part of Islamic tradition. This old ass freaky what is he? A pervert, if you will, had a 6-year-old wife. He used to push her in swings and stuff. And go on. This is an Islamic tradition. Go to the school, push her in swings. Waited till she was 9 years old. Consummated the marriage. If you have any brains or sense, you know that means that's when they had sex. Let's continue.
The Prophet Muhammad had a 6-year-old wife, according to Islamic tradition. Anybody can look it up. And he consummated the marriage at 9 years old. This is how the story goes now. So for all you black Muslims and you black Islamic Arabists, when you try to sell the Prophet Muhammad off to sensible human beings with morals, think to yourself, would Allah put a grown 50 to 60-year-old man with a 6-year-old wife? This is how the story goes now.
And that's my standpoints and beliefs on that whole nonsensical garbage. This illiterate man named Muhammad started having visitations from a person named Gabriel, roughly around 622, somewhere up in there. Either it might have been 22 years, from 610 to 632 when he died. I believe he got the right recitation for 22 years, if I'm not mistaken. These just numbers. Don't quote me on this. He started being visited by a man named Gabriel, who would let him understand this Quran, and he would remember it because he couldn't read. He was illiterate. He didn't have no educational sense in terms of ABCs, 1, 2, 3, and all that type of stuff. So he was illiterate. He couldn't read the Quran if it was written down, because they said he went and got scribes and he remembered and everybody wrote it down for him. But he could never fact check it because he couldn't read. So when they used to read it back to him, he'd say, yeah, that's the way I told you to put it. And it was all nothing wrong with it. So as long as you believe anything like that, there's something wrong with you. Then I don't care what year it was. They say, oh, things was different way back in the day. I don't care how far back you go. If a 60-something-year-old man married a 6-year-old and he consummated the marriage at 9, but the 9-year-old child now, whatever religion that is, I'm against it. You hear me? So hell no, I'm not a Muslim. I have intelligence. I have morals. I have dignity. I have integrity. I have honesty. See, morality, all this type of stuff. And I have self-respect for myself that a grown 60-something-year-old man cannot do nothing with a child but teach a child. You can't sit them on your lap with intentions on screwing them 3 years later. A 6-year-old, you're teaching them bedtime stories, reading them stories on your lap, and 3 years later, you're priming them for sex at 9. That's a freak. So like I say, if it's the Ishnah, the Hadith, the Sunnah, the Bukhari, whoever put that in Islamic tradition, go argue with them. I don't want this damn nonsense, and I never will. So the hell with Allah, the hell with this Muhammad and all that old nonsense, and the hell with whoever believes that nonsense. That's your thing, not mine. That's my thoughts on all this. I'm not a Muslim. Tomorrow I'll tell you and show you and give you a little spiel on why I'm not. The next thing that people question and think, what is he? I'm none of these things. You hear me? It's Lil Kenny Russell, Canoe comes to a moon. You already know what you're going to give me. Step in this room, we now then look canoe. This is what I do, and I love to do it. And if I take back what I said, I add some more to it. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and I thank you for watching. If you feel like you want to do something for me, like and subscribe because it won't cost you a fee. Education and preparation is the first step to retaliation. So before you pick up a weapon or a silly religion, Pick up some knowledge. If anybody's offended by anything you heard, I'm in every word. Yeah, yeah. See y'all tomorrow.